about 90 miles away. And so we're shooting at about 5,000 or 6,000 feet when we get back here into parts of Smith and Cherokee County, and also into parts of Rusk County. So this may be low-level moisture closer to the surface. So what I can do is I can turn on another product and give you an idea, better idea of perhaps what we're looking at here. Let me do that for you. So we're going to turn on something called the correlation coefficient. And so what that is that it's looking at the radar not only horizontally as the beam goes out, but it's also scanning the atmosphere up and down in the vertical. So it does show a little more coverage. So we have pockets of thicker mist and drizzle. There may even be a few sleet pellets mixed in there, or maybe even a little bit of light snow. All of that red would tell us that this is one continuous or identical type of precipitation. That would be the correlation of all of this together. These other areas here where you see the difference in colors could be a couple sleet pellets as they fall through the radar, as they fall through the sky, I should say, and the radar beam hits them. If they are a little bit of ice pellets, they're going to reflect differently, and so we see it more in that vein. So you've got a little bit of ice out there, and I think it could even be more widespread than what perhaps even the radars are showing. So another thing we can do is push this. We'll go back here to the wet a little bit, and you'll see that there is some showing up also around the Canton and the Athens area over toward Gilmer and Mount Pleasant. So we can switch between the radar sites, and that can also kind of fill in the gaps for us and kind of help us out. So that's certainly good news. All right, again, still trying to see if we are, there we are. Okay, we are up. We've got, let's see who's joining us here this evening. We've got Tanya watching, and thank you, Tanya, for alerting your friends to also watch. We're going to do this update till about 7:15. We've got 240 folks watching, so I thank everyone for tuning in with us here this evening. This is the current and live picture from the CBS 19 studio camera, and it looks like you know, a little mist. It's very gray. It looks almost foggy. I think that's part of the mist reducing visibility out there. Kimberly, hi. Thanks. And let's see. Park says hi, howdy. And we've got Holly also tuning in, and Greg Brown. All right, so let me show you the temperatures. It's 20 degrees in Tyler, 24 at Longview, 27 at Nacogdoches, and 30 at Lufkin. We went below freezing last night at about 9 p.m., and we've been there ever since. So the roads have had a nice long time to chill. And so because they're chilling, especially those bridges and overpasses which chill quicker because they are not insulated from the ground below, those are going to get icier first. But I still think we could have parking lots. Please be careful around parking lots. I've noticed some icy spots in parking lots. Trees, or streets, I should say, would then become a little bit of icy. There's also a fine little glaze now on some of the trees. So Eustis, Satha, thank you for watching. Ashley is also alerting some of our friends to tune in. Appreciate that. So you can see we have northwest winds. We have drizzle occurring right now, and this will continue. Let me show you the temperatures outside. We just showed you some that were in the range of 21 to about 30 degrees. Longview right now at 23. Mineola is at 16. Emory is at 15. The interesting thing here is you may be wondering, well, this is certainly cold enough to support snow. Why is it not snowing? Well, these are surface temperatures. If we looked at the temperatures at about 5 to 10,000 feet off the surface, they're above freezing. So where the ice crystals or where the raindrops or the snowflakes are or would typically grow in that layer of air, it's above freezing. So they're starting off as raindrops and then they're falling. And so overnight, as that layer gets a little bit cooler, there's a chance for some of those raindrops to form into an ice pellet, and then that would hit the ground as sleet. Otherwise, this light rain and drizzle will continue, and when it hits the surface where the temperature is below freezing, it freezes on contact, thus freezing rain. Freezing rain isn't freezing on the way down. It freezes when it hits the surface. If it freezes on the way down, we call that sleet. So in these areas up here, we've seen a little bit of snow back toward Canton, Sulphur Springs, Mount Pleasant. The air mass, the cold air may be a little bit thicker there and may extend up high enough to start those off as snowflakes, or if they started as a raindrop, they had enough time to freeze into a snowflake on the way down. But that's the current look at the temperatures in East Texas. When we look at the temperatures around the region, there is no end to the cold air. We're going to stay below freezing probably till Wednesday, and may even get colder tomorrow night and Wednesday morning. We could be looking at Overnight lows around 10 to about 13 degrees by Wednesday morning. Tammy Egan says, just heard Highway 175 is slick. I would not doubt that. With these temperatures, and again, the light precipitation, even if it's light, anything that falls is going to likely just stick to everything. So some icing is likely tonight with this wintry mix. Down to 18 for the overnight low with a north wind at 9 miles an hour. I have sunrise tomorrow at 7:23. I don't think we're going to see any sun tomorrow. It's going to be a cloudy day. Let me show you a future skycast, and you'll see that it's fairly light. Even on our future skycast, these little pink areas here, very light. Watch what happens overnight. We increase this a little bit, especially down toward deep East Texas and up to the north. So that band right there between about 5 a.m. and 8 to 9 a.m. probably going to be the worst of this, and that's when the roads could be their slickest and perhaps most hazardous. And if it's sleet, that's when it would accumulate. Sleet doesn't stick to power lines, but it certainly sticks to streets, and it can make it really slick and hazardous. You'll notice by 6 p.m. everything is out of here. But the clouds are hanging on. The clouds will hang on into Tuesday morning. By Tuesday afternoon, we'll see sunshine. And so anything that has clung to trees or power lines or the streets should melt, and things should improve dramatically from there. Elkhart here, just heard a little bit of ice on the roads and some have lost power. Okay, thank you, Lauren, appreciate that. I will pass that along to the newsroom. So we're looking at, you can see we also posted the link on our discussion here to the road conditions in East Texas, so you can check those out. Cedar Creek Lake weather, we picked up a good coating around Cedar Creek due to lake effect snow, I believe. It's possible. There are only a few places that have a chance to have lake effect, but if you get the right fetch over the right part of the lake, it is very possible with the lake water being warmer than the Arctic air that's spilling over top of it, that as that warm air is evaporating up into that cold, cold layer, those snowflakes instantly form, and then they could produce a nice little snow shower. All right, Mata Angelia Lopez is watching tonight. Good evening, Mata. Someone posted it that Hawkins Parkway in Longview is closed. Thank you, Park. Appreciate that. I will also pass that along to the newsroom. Larry Wayne says same here in Tyler, Texas. Yes. Okay, so again, we've got lots of slick roads, and they're, I think, deteriorating pretty quickly this evening, and will continue to deteriorate. All right, forecast ice amounts. So just looking at how light this is. So this would be the combination of sleet and freezing rain. Not a lot, but enough to cause all kinds of problems. I had posted another, if you had watched the video that I had done earlier today, I had posted another computer data's output. The way the radar trends are going now, it leans more towards these lighter amounts. But again, up to 1/10 of an inch on a tree limb or a power line can weigh that down just a little bit. 1/100ths of an inch on roadways would cause some problems. So it should be less than 1/10 of an inch, but it could be a little bit more than that. But right now it's leaning toward being a very light event, but even a light event can be sort of problematic, I would say. All right, what about Rusk, Texas? Okay, so Rusk, you can see southern Cherokee County. Let's go down here. So you can see anywhere from about 6/100ths of an inch to maybe 1/10 of an inch of, again, freezing rain and sleet mixed. Right now it looks like it's going to be mainly freezing drizzle, freezing rain. It's pretty light, but all over the area, I think that common number there is roughly 3/100ths of an inch to about 1/10 of an inch. I think that's a safe bet. Edna, same thing about Jacksonville. I think it holds in that same area, right? If you can see on that map there, 6/100ths of an inch. And Jacksonville is going to be very cold tonight, like the rest of us, probably down to about 20 degrees. Lauren says, just saw someone say that Bill Owens between Loop and Hawkins Parkway in Longview is very slick. Yes, the roadways, no doubt, are slick all around. Let's see, Candy says it was bad then, saw one wreck and 3 cars, and that was where, I think, but that was somewhere in Longview. Okay, that was the Hawkins Parkway in Longview. I have seen some pictures coming out of Longview that, Jennifer, thank you for sharing. 64 between ARP and Turnertown, super slick. You know, folks, if you have a chance, let's just stay home for the rest of the night. If you have to venture out for work, please allow yourself some extra time to get there. Is it possible to lose tree limbs tomorrow? It's going to have to take more than this. We'd have to have, you know, maybe a brittle branch that's already been damaged from either the drought or from a prior ice storm. I mean, I can't completely rule it out. I don't think it'll rise to the level of what we saw last year when we had lots and lots of branches coming down. unless we somehow get a burst of heavier freezing rain overnight. All right, the Weather Prediction Center. So this is an arm of the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, and also works in conjunction with the National Weather Service. Wanted to show you this. They have this storm as a Category 1 limited impact storm up toward Mount Pleasant, toward Texarkana. Category 2 minor impacts. This is kind of the ballpark we were in last year, but we had just enough ice on those just weakened tree limbs that they started coming down. So that's why I can't entirely rule out that we wouldn't have some limbs that would snap, but I just don't think we'll have as many as we had last year. So that winter storm severity index, you can see level 3s up here where there's heavier snow in the forecast, especially up into eastern parts of Kentucky. So our weather headlines, it's really going to be all about a mix of sleet and freezing rain tonight. And I think there could be up to an inch of sleet in those areas north of Interstate 20. But I think roads are going to be slick no matter where you are on Monday. So I anticipate just some slick roads no matter where we end up Monday across East Texas. So best advice here tonight is to stay home and also keep checking back. I know several schools and some businesses are either delaying opening or not opening at all, just because the other part of this story is going to be the temperatures, which will be very cold. We have a hard freeze warning in effect for tonight, with temperatures dipping down to about 10 to, tonight 15 to 20 degrees, and then tomorrow it's 10 to 15 degrees. So that could really wreak some havoc on pipes and things of that nature. Chapel Hill closed. Larry Wayne says Chapel Hill ISD canceled classes for Tuesday morning already. Okay. And a good bit of ice on the roads up at Sulphur Springs. I heard that. I read that earlier, Diana. Appreciate you sharing that information with us. Randy says roads all good in Lufkin at this time. May not stay that way throughout the night, but at this time. Mount Pleasant roads are rough, mixture coating on the ground. All right. Appreciate you guys tuning in here this evening. I have radar up, and when we toss it back to our regular stream, we'll keep the radar up for a few seconds here. But we only have about 20 more seconds to share with you right now. Again, I'll zoom in on Tyler and Longview, and you can see these little pink areas here would be indicative of some sleet and freezing rain. I know it looks light, but there is also a fine mist that is just underneath the radar beams at this time. But we know certainly it is happening as we have been looking outside. Thanks for watching this special stream here on CBS 19 and also on our Facebook channel. Have a great night, and please be safe. We're on at 10 o'clock with an update on CBS 19 News.